Okay, we're back with Marietta Towery. And Marietta, give me some of your best memories, because you were so involved in refereeing, you were involved in coaching, you're involved in fencing. Give me a little bit of some snippets of your best memories of refereeing.
Refereeing.
Officiating.
Well, yeah.
How were the ratings then? What were the ratings like then? How were they set up?
Okay. Well, early on, the women didn't do much of anything. You know, we fenced 4 touches and only to the hip and all this stuff. And you sat there, if you went with your husband and he fenced 3 weapons, or boyfriend, whatever, and he fenced 3 weapons, there you were at 11:30 at night in Lubbock, Texas, at Texas Tech, and you had to go back to Dallas. And, you know, after a while it was just the 5 or 6 guys that were in that final, because there were no DEs. It went straight from pools into finals. And so
how were the referees rated though then?
Oh, they really weren't. They really weren't.
But you got a rating, didn't you?
Level, yes, but eventually they'd say, "Oh, Marietta, you're just sitting here. You ref this." You know, and that's how I got into reffing, was being the only person standing, you know, who kind of understood what was going on in épée and in foil. Saber was there, yeah. I think possibly the most exciting thing was on further, when we were in Dallas and had a lot of work with pentathlon, and that was modern pentathlon, which is a foil épée fencing. And we had a world in 1972, I think it was, world championship, and you know the host country is always allowed to add 1 event, and they added women's pentathlon, which I thought all the Italian gals and everyone else had been reffing, I thought. And Mr. Pujarder Sr. said, "No, madam, it is you. You're the first one to be reffing World Pentathlon."
Right.
And it was pretty exciting in that it's the 1-touch épée on raised strips, and 1 foot off, of course, you call a halt because they're going to fall off the strip. And we had the U.S. team was against Japan. And that was exciting. In Japan, you know, the language is very harsh when you're not used to it. And I would call a halt, and I called it for the foot fault. And there was a Japanese touch at that moment. And here comes the coach. And here comes then the nice gentleman who is his interpreter in the brown pinstripe suit. And he says, "He is asked most respectfully, ma'am, did not the point come before the foot fault?" And I would say, "No, I called it for the foot fault." "Hey, you're very upset." "He is asked most respectfully, ma'am, did not you call?" No. So anyway, that was very exciting. And as, of course, they won, they took it that time. It was Mike Burley, I think, was on the strip. And Japan took it. And as I walked off, here all the moms and dads, Japanese, sitting there applauding as I come by. "Oh, you come Japan, you come Japan." And I thought, okay, yeah, right. And then what did I get? I got Mr. Pujarder down my throat saying, "You're not consistent, you're calling a foil halt," which is very much quicker. Épée allows for, you know, the extra touches. "You're calling a foil halt." And Captain Matheson came to my rescue. He was up in the booth, and he happened to have come down, and he said, "But Poosh, she's consistent. Every time it's exactly the same speed." You know, and so the fencer knows what to expect. But that was exciting, and it was fun.
How did you get your rating? And how were the ratings? They were not like they are now, 1 to 10.
No.
They were like
1, 2, and 3, I think.
They were 1, 2, and 3.
3 was highest.
Yes.
And it got lost in the shuffle.
But how did you get rated? Who rated you, and what did you have to do?
I was trying to think. Terhune. I was trying to think.
Terry Terhune?
No. Evelyn
Terhune,
was
right.
It Evelyn Terhune?
That's it.
Who was watching the computer. She did all the computer stuff out of New York, and she kept saying, "The USFA is moving toward the Mississippi, and as soon as we get a majority, it's going to change the look of U.S. fencing, because it's not going to be just in New York. It's going to be on out," and that's eventually about what happened, and it was moved to Colorado Springs, and that broadened up the country, of course. It made it very different. We were in a car wreck in '68 at the Mexico City Olympics, coming back, and we're not real, you know, real in good condition. And here comes this invitation saying the Junior World Championships will be at Notre Dame. The Junior World Championships will be at Notre Dame, and we're doing international referee testing. And they sent us, I think it was Chapapalagi, sent us a like 25-word French terms.
Right.
Gee, thanks, you know, and which was nice. And you get there, And there we were at Notre Dame, and here was the FIE in force, and at that time it was the brothers Mercier, and the Mercier brothers ran everything, the two of them.
Really?
And they were just FIE, that was all there was to it. And there were like two Argentinians, 4 or 5 Americans, and a couple of people from Europe who are not used to traveling very far because they can get a rating by just stepping out of the country, 25
Right.
miles and then something different. And this was for international rating. And it was pretty exciting because here's the whole board with the Merciers and Chavagol and all the different people.
Right.
And so mainly European types. And I think they used the people who were eliminated in the preliminary second round of JOs.
To do the
and
fencing.
international JOs, that's pretty fast fencers, and you're trying to think in French if you're not accustomed to doing that. And here you're having to call the foot at 2 meter in those days, the 2 meter halt. Oh, did the foil go off the target? Was it someplace else? And say it all in French and try to make it come out right. And they're sitting there judging you, and that's pretty nerve-wracking. I think my husband went on before I did, and the French just threw him. He said, I can't do this. And so when they called me on, I think I had Harbazunian, who is fencing.
Hike Harbazunian. He was here yesterday.
Yes, he was fencing. He's in 50s, and he was junior fencer then. And he was fencing some European, and all I was aware of was speaking Esperanto. It was not Spanish, not English, but I was speaking constantly.
Right.
With hand signs. There were no hand signs as such. You just talked,
Right.
And but I got away with it because I was talking. And of course they unplug the reel or unplug a weapon way back at the main connection.
Yeah.
And here you're searching down for everywhere to try to find it. And much to my surprise, here came my FIE license within 2 weeks, and I was very thrilled. The Argentinians had dropped out. They said, "Oh man, this is too much for us," and I think I was the only U.S. fencer left standing.
Really?
Yeah. And the next day, what is the man's name? I have not thought of these things in a long time. Italian, most medaled of all the Italians.
Mangiarotti.
And he was on the board. And Mangiarotti said, come, ici, and we will go over the rule book. Well, he did the whole rule book in Italian and French to Bill and I, taking all 3 weapons to pass us, and did so in like an hour and 15 minutes. It was exciting with Mangiarotti, the most knowledgeable of all people, and it was really exciting and fun. And so then I got my rating, and of course I was never used internationally. That's the way it goes. But it was nice. I had a little frame, and they redid mine. Much to my surprise, 3 years later it was redone because it has to be asked for by your country. But at that time that wasn't the case. And so anyway, that was ratings and what happened.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and it was exciting.
Well, Marietta Towery, thank you again so much for part 2 of our interview.
Yes, okay.